Hi guys, so first thing I did with my Realm of Battle board was to obviously unpack it, which is all rather good. I'd seen this for quite a while before, so I knew what I was getting into. Just using the old wallpapering table there to lay 3 boards out at a time on. I'm priming it first with Chaos Black. Unfortunately it was an alright day weather-wise, and it actually took up 2 cans of Chaos Black, so I recommend getting 2 cans of that if you're going to do it this way, or whatever colour you want to do. I know some people have used like a green undercoat for their to prime it with, so that when they put their flock on it doesn't show so much if they get like patchy areas or whatever. But I wanted black. That's the way I roll. It went on quite well. It dried very quickly. I don't remember it being particularly hot that day, but it's amazing how quickly you use up the paint. It really is. As you can see, it went on nice, went on lovely actually. No runs or drips or anything. I did the sides as well. I thought 1 layer of paint won't affect it, won't create any gaps when you put the tiles together. So I thought that was okay. I did make sure I didn't miss any areas there. Apologies also for having to film this on my old camera, which isn't the best camera. It's like a fixed focus camera, so you don't get the best shots, but you're going to get the general idea of how I did this. That was the first 3 done, and then we're on to the second 3. And it really, I have to say, it really was an enjoyable process doing this. I thought it was going to be a bit of a chore, but no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew pretty much what I wanted to achieve with this. I kind of had an idea in my mind already for how I wanted the board to look. So that's something I would recommend, guys, if you're going to be doing this, rather than make it up as you go along. I got this speeded up to double speed. I couldn't work out how to get it any quicker on Windows Movie Maker, so apologies for that. Just going along, making sure I've got all the edges and didn't miss any gaps. I suppose it didn't take too long to do that at all, really. It was very surprising. Still on to the other last 2 tiles, I believe. Obviously I did this over the course of several days. I had to wait for the weather as well, and time and opportunity to do that. I did these all on the same afternoon. Did the undercoating. Another thing I recommend, guys, is just don't rush it. It's not worth it, and you get far better results when you take your time and you accomplish what you set out to achieve, rather than just think, oh, that'll do, I've had enough now. Trust me, it's so worth putting in that extra effort, as you'll see later on. And I've seen all sorts of tutorials on this Realm of Battle board. I opted for this one over the newer one because I felt this had more scope for variation. when you move the tiles around, you've got different configurations, what with the hills and everything. Whereas the other realm of battle board, which is more like a cityscape flavour to it, and there's only 2 different tiles in that set, and you just don't. It's all the same. It's a city board, plain and simple. With this, you can make cities on it if you so wish, or you can make it more fantasy, and there's just so much more variation. And then you can see I bought the scenery painting pack, and that's what you get in it, like a Citadel 2-inch brush, pot of brown ochre, and a large pot of brown paint, cheaper PVA glue, which most of us got loads of that anyway, and a couple of bags of green flock. One is the scorched grass, and then there's a smaller bag of lighter grass, lighter green. I was just showing you what's in the box there, the scenery painting pack, which I thoroughly recommend you get. You're going to do this, well worth it. The first thing to do after it's all dried, all the chaos blacks dried, is undercoat it in brown, or base coat it in brown. And what I used is one of those little rollers from the hardware store. You pick those up really cheap, a couple of quid, and it made the process so much quicker and easier. And of course you can do it by hand with the brush, but I found this so much quicker. Obviously I did some areas with the brush when it came to the certain parts of the hills and so on, but this was like a dream to go on, and you didn't get any brush marks or lines in the paint. It was just brilliant, and again dried really quickly. And it's funny looking back, seeing how far it's come. There you go, done the other board. That was quick. That's 3 done. Obviously I left the rock areas and other areas I didn't want to have that colour, so I knew I was going to be doing them a stone effect. And the last 3 tiles, the hills. I'll be putting up a tutorial on how to do stone effect as well, so there you go. All the areas by the skull pits and around the edges of the hills and the rocky path leading up. I wanted to do that with the stone effect that I like to do. It basically just involves a load of dry brushing. So there we are, first layer of brown done. Onto the ochre. Ochre. I call it ochre. Shake it well. I'll use the lid to sort of pour it into, and just dry brush this on, or over brush it really. And you haven't got to worry too much about it if you are going to be putting flock on. I knew for most of this tile here I'd be putting a lot of grass on there, a lot of flock on there, so most of that first bit was just getting the paint off of the brush, which I know I should have done with the cloth there, but yeah, once you get going it's fine. And if you make mistakes at this stage, like if you want to go over that again, just go over it with the brown again. It's simple enough, and it dries really quickly. That little patch there of the ochre where I first started. Then if you're not happy with that, just go over it with the browning. I might have even done that actually. Then you just dry brushing over the stony sort of texture of the tiles, because all the tiles have a great sort of texture on, which lends itself well to this kind of overbrushing technique. On this stage, it's starting to take a little bit longer on this stage now, because you want each tile to look good when you're finished. So, although it's speeded up there, like I say, don't rush it. If you're not happy with something, go back, sort it out as you go. It really is well worth it. Again, that's a tile with a lot of stone sort of area on it, which I wasn't. Yeah, I knew I was going to be doing it stone effect, so in hindsight I should have left that black really, but you know, whatever. And this ochre, it seemed to dry even quicker than the brown, to be honest. It's a really nice effect though. I'm sure you've seen it in all your local game stores. I'm sure they've got ones that have the boards in, like the Games Workshop ones, and that they've got these tables out. A lot of them use these tiles. And I think they look better than the city one. So much more depth to it, so much more you can do with it, like I say. Sorry if it's just boring watching me do this, but I wanted it to be kind of as close to how I actually did it as possible without loads of editing. So if I make mistakes, you can see them as I go. Okay, just making sure I'm covering the whole tile there. Now you can go around after and look at it as well and see what you want to do there, if you've missed a spot. I don't know if you can make it out there, but it really does start to look really good. It's look really nice and textured. To be honest, I've seen a lot of game stores just playing their games on tiles at this stage, you know. You can if you want to, I suppose, just have like a barren wasteland. You could do much more than this. Depends what sort of table you want, really. I've already done other tables. I've done the barren wasteland, well, more barren wasteland than this, so I didn't need that. Got a gaming mat as well, all done up with like molten lava, so that's another effect I've done. I'll just show you how I was leaving them to dry, I think, here. Showing you the areas that I'm going to be dry brushing for stone effect. Yeah, there we go. Just starting off. Like I say, I'll be doing a tutorial on stone effect using the Citadel dry brush. It's all Citadel paints and products that I use for this, by the way. No point cheaping out when you've spent this much money on this product. You use the proper stuff. Yeah, so this isn't a tutorial on how to dry brush, just letting you know I will be doing a tutorial on stone effect dry brushing. I know a lot of people use air brushes on this. I didn't use any air brushes on this at all hand painted. I mean, it's basically just going from dark to light when you dry brush stone. And it's quite easy. This was probably the longest stage of the lot. If you want to get this one, if memory serves correctly, I managed to do all up to this stage of dry brushing on the first day, on the first afternoon, and then I think I left it then and did the rest of it later on. Once you start laying down the stone effect, it really starts coming together, and you can really start visualizing, you know, your battles on this table at that point. And they did offer me in the Games Workshop store where I live to go in and help me do it, but I thought, no, I want to do it myself. Much rather do it all myself. I thought, well, I know I can do stone effects. Obviously I did that tile, I'm onto this tile now. I think that's a really cool effect, the cracks in the earth there. I know a lot of people don't like those scale effects, but I kind of like them. Yeah, so I just got the boards up on bits of cardboard for to dry. I've done the stone effect there now. Now we're onto the skulls. So I did with you shabby bone. Followed by Agrak Earthshade. And then Screaming Skull to highlight. Now onto the flocking now. I did buy an extra pack of flocks, but I didn't need it. I only did that because I watched a tutorial. I watched a couple of tutorials on the Realm of Battleboard, and several people said that there wasn't enough flock in there and to buy more. One guy actually bought cheaper flock and it looked awful because it was a different shade to the one he had. But I didn't need it anyway because I didn't want to do it all grass. Oops, just spilt the water there. Just mixed up the PVA glue and the water. That PVA glue was a bit gloopy in the bottle there. I think it might have been on the shelf for quite a while. Doesn't matter, it was all did the same job once it was done. 50-50 water and PVA glue. I put the light flock down first, and then to get the rest of the flock on, I used a sieve, which an old sieve I had, which was really well. I'm sieving it down now. And I just had a couple of actually the plastic covers that cover the tiles themselves on the floor. I just kind of banged them onto that after the flock came back, and I just put that back in the pot I was using. I emptied the flock into a bowl, small bowl, and used that. That was worked fine, which I'll show you in a minute. That's the sieve. Get it around. I'll show you a couple of pictures at the end. The different formations and configurations and stuff. That's one tile done. I like the effect that it looks like a kind of dried up riverbed going through the middle of it. All the mess I used. Bags that the flock came in. I don't mind showing you that. Yeah, it's a small breakfast bowl I used to empty it into, and then a load of flock on the bag I used to bang the tiles out onto. And they dried off pretty quick as well. And then after I'd done that, which I didn't show here because I lost the footage, but once I'd done all the flocking, I sealed it all with Purity Seal, Citadel Purity Seal, and it only took one can to do all 6 tiles, and that was really, really good. So once you've done it, make sure you seal it because it'll get a lot of usage and wear. Can't really see it there. It just doesn't do it justice. Hopefully the pictures I took on my mobile phone later, I just laid out some of the tiles, well, I laid them all out in a couple of different configurations, as I say, so you can see. That was it, all done, just waiting for it to dry. Here's a picture of one of my tiles. A completed tile, and there we are, just put them together, this is how it looks. Couple of things here. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you. It's nice to see someone else do a Realm of Battle board, I think, when you haven't done one and you're thinking of doing it. So, yeah, it's just a couple of shots there to see what it looks like. I didn't actually clip them together at this stage, I was just putting them together to see what it looked like. Couldn't help it. Just had to see. Put a little bit of scenery down and see. So, thank you for watching my Realm of Battle board. How I did it. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and share if you can. All help is very greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Happy wargaming.